Happy Sunday. We are jumping right into this video with our first workout of the week, which is going to be a 30-minute recovery run. So just some quick context as we're walking to the gym. The first 5 months of the year, so January to the first week of June, I was training to run my first 10K. And that was kind of like the main focus of my training, making sure I could run that mileage without getting injured and using my strength workouts to help support that goal. So now I have about 3 weeks of just like, I don't know, training for vibes before I start training for my next goal, which is going to be running the Bronx 10 mile in September. So I'm starting that in July. I'm actually going to be working with a trainer one-on-one, trainer/physical therapist. But until we get into that block of training, I'm just kind of like maintaining the bare minimum, 2 to 3 strength workouts a week, enough cardio that adds up to the recommendation of like around 150 minutes of moderate activity and or 75 minutes of vigorous aerobic activity for the week, and then making sure I'm hitting my mobility work. So I just kind of want to take you guys through in this buffer week that I have, because this is definitely more of like a non-specific training for vibes, training for longevity, and just show you guys how I fit it all in. So we are on the way to my gym. We are going to do a 30-minute recovery run today, which means I'm going to keep it super, super slow, like snail's pace slow. And I'm going to try and keep my heart rate in high zone 2, low zone 3. That's the goal. So this is really like an aerobic base. So this is going to count toward that 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity. And after that, I'm going to use the sauna because I never take advantage of it, mostly because I didn't bring a towel and they don't have any. But I brought a towel today. So we're going to sauna it up after for recovery. Let's do it.
So once I got to the gym, I started with a quick 5-minute warm up. I just did a few things to warm up the hips and the ankles. I didn't really film this part, but then I moved into some standing stuff and then some hip hinging. I did a little bit of pogo work, some lunges, and then I finally made my way over to the treadmill. Now, I don't know why this always happens to me when I run on the treadmill, but the first like 5 to 10 minutes, my Fitbit will tell me that I'm in max heart rate, like peak, and then all of a sudden it will plummet down to where honestly, I just feel like I'm in like high zone 2, low zone 3. I don't really know what that's about and why there's a big spike down, but then the bigger spike down you'll actually see was a bathroom break because I forgot to pee before I left the house. And then I got back on the treadmill, finished it out, and then kind of the same thing happened again. Like my heart rate was up, but then it dropped all the way down. So I don't know, this information's really bad for my run for the day. We're just gonna count this as zone 2 cardio or zone 3 or whatever, like the moderate aerobic activity that I'm trying to chip away at. Then I was able to finish out in the sauna for about 15 minutes. And once I got home, I just did like 10 minutes of a little bit more passive stretching. This is not necessary to do after a workout or after a run. Honestly, it just feels really good. So this is why I do it. You know, sometimes things don't need a scientific reason. Sometimes you can just do things because you like to do them. Again, this whole week, we're working on vibes. Happy Monday. We're going to the gym. Evo barefoot shoes, wallet, chapstick because I have a problem, headphones. I'm talking to my camera.
Is your arm bigger than mine? I gotta work out.
Lock, key, liquid chalk, and I think that's it. Today's a strength workout. If you've been around for a while, you know that I follow Hunter Krine's Savage Athlete program, which is not like a one-to-one program. It is like for the masses. This is actually one of my last weeks on this program because starting in July, why did I say July so weird? Yeah.
I've been like waiting for you to go.
Oh, you could have been watching it the whole time. All right. We'll talk a little bit more about what we're doing as we walk to the gym.
All right, we're back. So like I said, I've been training on Hunter's program for the last like year and a half, maybe 2 years. And I'm going to be cycling into working with a new coach starting in July. So I'm just kind of like finishing up what Hunter has programmed. We've been working on like really heavy, like bench, deadlift, some weighted chin-ups, and we're taking a little step back and still working on a lot of the same movement qualities, but prioritizing kettlebells now, which will be fun. So today is max strength day, which means high weight, low rep. I am definitely going to try and hit a snatch PR today, which would be really fun. So even though I can't show you like the full workout because it is behind a paywall, I'm going to be showing you just like little clips here and there. And voiceover Justina will explain a little bit more about like max strength work. So let's go.
All right, so today's workout, like I said, is more max strength focused. So after a nice warm up and some more dynamic drills, we made our way into 6 sets of a swing and a snatch on each side. The goal is basically to work your way up to your max weight, and I hit a nice little PR today with the 20 kilo or 44 pounds for my Americans. Then we did something similar with squats and cleans. Basically, we did 8 reps light, 6 reps moderate, and that's the one that I filmed right here that you can see, and then 4 reps heavy. And honestly, the toughest thing for this was that you had to re-clean before every rep. Then we did some accessory stuff of lunges, rows, and TRX drills, and I didn't film any of those, but all in all, this took me like 40 minutes start to finish. So it really does go to show you that with some solid programming, you don't need hours in the gym. Good morning, happy Tuesday. Today's a strength endurance day. I did this workout last week. It's literally the exact same thing we did last week in this program. So I'm a little bit more prepared for how hard it's gonna be. It was really, really challenging. So I'm actually excited to have like 2 full rest days after this before I get into the workout that I didn't get to last week. So anyway, do we wanna see Zoe? There she is. Zoe. Couldn't be bothered, all right. Now this workout was a high nervous system day, but since I'd already done this workout last week, I knew how to pace myself and expend my energy a little bit better across the board. After the warm-up, we went right into this complex of cleans, presses, squats, and swings. I kept it lighter using 25 so I could save my energy for the main chunk of work, which was 100 reps of snatches, 100 reps of lunges, 100 reps of push-ups, and then as many reps you could do of inverted rows. Last week, I completed it in about 26 minutes, and today I did it in about 22, so big improvement there. I also got 5 extra rows, and I did all of my push-ups from the floor when last week I did about like 20 from an incline. So a few wins across the board there. We were allowed to break this up in any way that we wanted, but Hunter advised us to do 5 sets of 20, so that's what I did. Honestly, this workout felt like a solid 9 out of 10 in terms of intensity, but I'm okay with that because we have 2 recovery days ahead. I put that weight on my back. I'm counting this money regardless of what you've been doing. Good morning. We're going to do a little mobility work to start our day. Specifically, we're going to be doing a kin stretch workout with Dr. James Chung, who I'm pretty sure is actually New York based. Kin stretch is basically the group fitness version of the mobility certification that I have. I feel like I just said mobility really weird. It all falls under FRS, Functional Range Systems. And I always recommend to people, if you're looking to actually work on your mobility, look up people who are either kin stretch or FRC certified, because I think that they have but I think that that certification specifically really breaks down like physiology behind it really well. Anyway, you can tell I just woke up. So we're just going to hop right into this, and voiceover Justina will kind of tell you what we're working on. It's a 25-minute lower body kin stretch class. Let's do it. So I'm leaving this routine linked below because it made my hips feel like absolute jello in the best way possible. The primary focus was on hip flexion and external rotation. So like James said in the beginning, it's a great routine if you're looking to improve your squat depth. We did 2 main blocks, one from the 90-90 base and then one from like a deep lunge base. In both sections, we started with a passive stretch to relax the nervous system and then worked into some hinges where we kind of moved through external rotation at the hip. And that was pretty much it. It was really simple, but really effective. Come on. You got it. Yeah. Good girl. All right, I'm actually not done work yet, but I wanted to pop on really quick because right after this last client, we're going to go to the gym. I fully forgot that I am canceling basically like my subscription to Hunter's program yesterday because that's when it renewed, and I didn't want to like pay for the whole month and just be doing like next week. So I don't really know what I'm doing at the gym today. I'm undecided. I guess I'll figure it out and we'll talk about it on the walk over. I kind of want to do some trap bar deadlifting, because I know that that was supposed to be in the program today. Maybe like it was a kickstand variation. Maybe I should have looked at what the last workout of the week was before I canceled the membership, but it's okay, because at the beginning of the video, we already kind of talked about what we're doing this week, and it's vibes. We're working off of vibes. So deadlifting sounds like fun. I'm going to try and remember what else I already did this week, and we'll fill in the blanks. So I have homework to do before we come back, but first I have to work with a client. And then we're going to go to the gym.
All right, we're on our way to the gym. Kind of undecided what I'm exactly going to do. I was just talking to my last client. He actually like programmed a workout for me, which was not bad by any means. One of the things he said was starting with thrusters. And I was like, actually sounds like fun. So I think what I'm going to do a nice little warm up my hips, get everything moving, start with some thrusters, and then just kind of like see what's open and build the workout as it's appropriate. And then we can kind of talk through it and why I'm choosing what. I'm quite honestly, I did not take the time to remember what I did in the beginning of the week, but nothing's really like feeling fatigued. So again, we're working on vibes, not optimization. Ooh, look at this window cat. Oh yeah, that's a good one. So I'm just going to show you like in the moment how I piece things together based on what kind of makes sense in terms of like energy conservation and blah, blah, blah. I don't even know what to say anymore. All right, let's go to the gym.
Luckily, since I wrote this workout, I can share the whole thing with you. So like I said, I started with some thrusters, and we did 3 sets of 5 here just to get the nervous system fired up, and a little bit of explosive hip extension and overhead work. And then that led me into some kickstand deadlifts with the trap bar and some dead snatches with a kettlebell. The reason I moved into this, aside from like just liking those exercises, is because in thrusters, like I said, we have that explosive hip extension and shoulder flexion or overhead position. And since those neural pathways are already primed, I just figured let's load it up with some strength work now. Then that kind of wiped me out, so I went for something very stationary, seated row. I didn't get a clip of this, but I have an old one that I'll just kind of put in here. I did 4 sets of 12, and I took a solid 90 seconds between sets just to give my back enough time to recover. Then I moved over to an open bench and did some chest pressing, supersetted with some Bulgarians. Now, did I need to do another unilateral lower body drill? No, but at least it's in a squat pattern this time to get some like differentiation there from the deadlifts. But this is also just a favorite superset of mine because the weight that I'm going to use for chest pressing is similar enough for my Bulgarians in terms of loading, so I could just grab 1 set of dumbbells and call it a day. Then I made my way back over to the other side of the gym to do a quick little ab drill, and then I spent 30 minutes walking on the treadmill to get my step count up for the day and add a little bit more zone 2 cardio for my aerobic goals. Good morning, happy Saturday. We're gonna go run a 5K. So this is my first like outdoor distance run since the race. I ran the women's mini 10K 2 Saturdays ago, and I feel like it's just important before I start training for the 10 mile in September to, you know, keep up a little bit of outdoor runs and some distance stuff. I also definitely am gonna be heat training this entire summer because it's like very hot out. So it's about 8:40 right now. I want to get a move on because if it gets too hot, I'm going to be like miserable. So yeah, goals here is don't die of heat exhaustion. Give yourself grace. If I have to stop here and there, totally fine. And just have fun with it. If we're going for like a time goal, I'm going to say like under 35 minutes, which is very generous. So let's do that.
1 mile in, 9:50 pace. Mile 2, 9:47 average pace. Mile 3, 9:52 pace. Let's finish it out. Run is complete. That actually felt like great until the 3rd mile. And I think just because it's hot, I started getting like, not nauseous, but like right before nauseous. You know what I'm saying? Like I could feel if I didn't stop to walk, then I would have gotten nauseous, and I just wanted to avoid that for obvious reasons. So I did stop to walk twice during that 3rd mile, but pace was great. Who knew taking a little breather could make you fast? So that is almost my fastest 5K, which is fun. My fastest is like 29:56, like just under 30. And for that one, I did feel nauseous. So the fact that I had to stop twice and still hit like a 30-minute 5K, very happy with that. So that's going to be my vigorous cardio. And that's going to be the end of the video because that's all the exercise I'm going to do. Hopefully this video just kind of showed you guys how you can fit in cardio, mobility, and strength workouts all in a week without having it like take over every second of your week. Again, I'm very lucky that a lot of my movement is integrated in work and I work for myself, so my schedule is flexible. But if you ever need any assistance trying to brainstorm how to get in movement during your week, drop it down in the comments below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos, and we'll see you in the next one.